Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X research and professional physicist, and today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one is entitled Planet X System, Time of Arrival. Now, according to some people who correctly believe that the arrival of Planet X should lead to more than one sun appearing in the sky, Planet X arrived in 2011. Because that was when footage of two side-by-side suns appeared on television screens in Asia. And we see an image here of the two suns that were shown on television screens in Asia in March of 2011. Now, there is, however, evidence that the sun, moon, and planets are being simulated by a simulation system with elements in the sky at cloud altitude and others which are in orbit. And I've written about these, and I'll show you in the references which articles they are just now. Now, one component of that system, a hexagonal mirror and light source array, is shown below, which is only one part of the evidence for the existence of such a system. There is a lot more evidence. People have been photographing these things in the sky for a very long time. So this is a photograph of an artificial device in the sky. Its outline is hexagonal, and it seems to be an array of hexagonal mirrors. And in many ways, it's similar to a patent for a sun simulator from the 1960s, which I have written about as well. And this device is clearly intended to simulate a light source, such as the sun or the moon in the sky. So as a result, it's possible that the sight of these two side-by-side suns in March of 2011 may have been either, well, they could have been due to the presence of two actual stars in the sky, but they could also have been as a result of the real sun appearing side by side with the simulated sun. In other words, the one simulated by a sun simulation device. So, however, the evidence that other stars are in the solar system is also clearly evident in the same image. And that evidence is from the pink clouds that we see in the image. Definitely pink clouds there. Now, our sun is not able to produce pink clouds, and this is because pink is a combination of blue and red colors of light. And sunlight is a combination of three primary colors, red, green, and blue. And the Earth's atmosphere always removes or scatters the blue portion in sunlight first. And this is why we have a blue sky. Now, the Earth's atmosphere never removes green unless it is getting close to sunset, and it never does until all the blue, which is the light that is the most energetic, and we can see here from the visible light spectrum, blue on this side has the highest frequency or the lowest wavelength, so it's the most energetic. And then green is the second primary color, it's in the middle, and red is the least energetic. So the atmosphere scatters or removes blue first, and only after it's removed all the blue will it start removing the green. So it's actually impossible for our atmosphere to remove green before removing blue. And in order to have pink or magenta clouds, we would have to remove the green and leave the blue, which is impossible. It cannot happen. So the only way we can have pink clouds in the sky is if we actually have a pink light source illuminating the Earth's atmosphere. So clouds are usually white because we get the red and the green from the yellow sunlight with the blue removed, which is in the sky. That's why the sky is blue. So when all these colors combine, we should have a white cloud. In order for us to obtain a pink cloud or magenta cloud, this green would have had to disappear. And there's nothing to remove it so there is no way we're going to get a pink cloud unless we have a pink light source. So this means that there must be an object in the sky which is emitting light. So it has to be a star. So the pink clouds are evidence of a pink light source or a star in the sky, and that's evidence that we have extra stars in the solar system. And this also means that Planet X is not a planet because planets do not emit light, they only reflect light. And the pink object illuminating the Earth's atmosphere clearly does emit light. So Planet X is a star, it's not a planet. Secondly, there isn't just one Planet X. There is a whole system of these objects, and they can be observed in the sun's inner and outer corona in various sun-observing satellite and spacecraft images. And some of these images seem to have, these images actually show more than one object in various stages of rejuvenation, which I will explain just now. So some of these objects seem to have arrived quite a while ago. They've had time to rejuvenate and thus start emitting light once again. And some are still dark, so they are more recent arrivals. So some of these objects, and we see one of them here, this one seems dark. It doesn't seem to be emitting light. So we can see its outline in the corona, but it's not emitting light. There's another one here which is further back. You can see the circular outline, and this one is emitting light. So it's actually more difficult to see it because it's covered in plasma already, which is emitting light. And for more details, you can look at Article 140 and Article 100, where the rejuvenation process is explained. There are some diagrams. So this pink star illuminating the Earth's atmosphere has to have gone through this rejuvenation process where it absorbed energy from the sun and it started being able to emit light until it's become quite bright, and it's now illuminating and producing pink clouds in the Earth's atmosphere. Here's another one. This one has also started emitting light once again. We can see that it's emitting light. We can see some features on the surface of the object. It seems to have some kind of hole or indentation in it, or crater. Or it could just be the material that's clinging to it that formed this sort of... It's not actually the core, because the cores of these objects are extremely dense and very definitely solid, as I have written about in other articles. Here's another one. This one is still dark. There's no light being emitted from that region, but we see its outline in the sun's corona. We see the root-like connections that it's making with the sun. And these are very hot and dense plasma connections created by a plasma from the sun, specifically from the chromosphere spiraling along magnetic field lines which connect the object's magnetic field to the sun's magnetic field. Now, these objects rejuvenate, that is, they regain the ability to emit light. When they arrive at the sun, they mainly emit infrared light, so they are dark, but they regain the ability to emit light, And we can see that from this object, which has a very bright region on the left side, which is not quite facing the sun. So it's not due to its surface being heated by the sun. And it's emitting less bright light from a region surrounding the brightest region. So the fact that this region does not actually seems to be pointing at a point above the sun, not pointing directly at the sun. And just like the hot Jupiters I've recently written about as well. So the region's not aligned. This indicates that this is not due to direct heating from the sun, but due to the object regaining ability to emit light through absorbing energy from the sun so that it can restart its own light emission process. And that's basically an energy transformation that the star has to make, either through an electrical potential that it has gained from the energy it obtained from the sun, or through another form of energy transformation. It could be cold fusion, it could be fission as well. But obviously this object is producing light as a result of some kind of energy transformation that it does as a star. Now, the stars in the Planet X system are old stars. They have gone through an aging process that has taken them through the red giant and white dwarf phases, which have led to their losing most of their layers of ionizing material, to the point that the core of the star becomes exposed, and hence the use of the name stellar core. In some of the very old ones, we can actually see the core, the solid core of the object, with just a small amount of material clinging to the surface, which is initially in a striped format, but even that is lost as these very old stellar cores seem to have ionizing envelopes that are not viable. So they shed them, and they seem to then regain another one through absorption from the sun. So how long have these objects been in the solar system? Well, this one here was in a 2001 image. It's a Yoko satellite image.